Today we're going to be looking at some entitled people.
Do you have student loans?
I do.
How much?
I'm not paying them.
You're not?
No.
Are they all public or any federal? Or I'm sorry, are there any private ones?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm
Now,
not
why are
paying
you
them.
not paying them?
Because why would I?
No, like if it starts back up, if none of them are forgiven,
I mean,
you'll just not pay them?
yeah.
So minimum monthly payments come in, you owe us $300, you're just,
Yeah.
And that hurts your credit, you don't care?
Yeah.
It might go to collections and people could come after you and potentially
Yeah.
sue you, you do not care?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
I'm not paying them.
Not paying them. So what's the mindset behind this? I'm curious.
I just think it's stupid. Like, it's not real.
I mean, you might not think the money's real, but trust me, whenever you've got minus so-and-so in your account, you're gonna realize it is kind of real. This will be a big problem. Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't want to literally get into debt over stuff like that. I kind of dig it. I know, I low-key kind of like her. I don't know why, she's kind of got a cool vibe to herself.
She was upset because my tires was facing her car. I'm so tired of entitled people. I was having such a great day. She walked in screaming, whose car is this? I was in my space.
Okay.
Facing my car.
Regardless of the fact, you can go because I don't know who the you think you're talking to.
I'm talking to you.
You know you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Lady, why don't you move out so she can get out of the store?
Okay, get out of the store. Move your car. Move your car,
You're
dear.
not going to leave until you walk away from the door. Thank you.
Who do you think you are? She must well know who I am. You don't need to hold the door for me. Give a damn. I'm in the parking space. So you better watch your mouth.
No, you're not.
You better, hey, you better watch your mouth. Because you don't know who the you're talking to. You don't know who the you're talking or who you're with. So you better watch your mouth. You understand?
A pig like you with that kind of language?
I don't
Pig.
care. You don't come talk to me like that. You understand?
That kind of language?
You,
gotta...
I don't care. Who the you think, what kind of language is what? Don't talk to me like that. Do you understand?
You're talking to me like that.
Do you
I didn't talk to you
understand?
like that.
Do you understand?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just so confused. Like, why is that woman literally angry? Like, I'm telling you, that woman looks like she's about 70. Go to the retirement home. Thank you, finally someone put a Karen in her place. I know. And then the fact that Karen called her a pig. Well done. Each doesn't automatically command respect. I mean, yeah, that is true. I know a lot of people are like, oh, respect your elders. I'll only respect you if you respect me, my darling. That doesn't even make sense to be upset about tire direction. Exactly. It's like, what's the point of you whinging? I'm telling you, these women, all they love to do is whinge. I'm an a-hole for telling my husband to lose the entitled attitude and do stuff for himself. Just recently, my husband, 31, was promoted to assistant manager of the warehouse. We both work on the ups of 50 hours a week. I am a shift manager at a behavioural disorders facility. Both jobs are very hands-on and strenuous. Since his promotion, he has developed an entirely different attitude, extremely entitled and, dare I say, rude AF. He's always boasting and bragging. This has been going on for 3 weeks. Do you reckon that's because he's like got promoted? He thinks he's like the big guy. So some examples are as followed. On his days off, he wants the house to be radio silent. If our 4-year-old wants to play, he tells her to stick to her bedroom because he needs peace and quiet after working so hard. If I make our daughter lunch, he will immediately say, where's mine? He asks me to grab him things damn near constant of all hours of the night. He expects nightly back rubs, but if I ask, he will scoff at me and say I've worked all day, even if I had as well. He expects meals that he likes made every night, regardless of me if our daughter likes the meal or not. He also acts like he has full say over the money because he makes more. Last night was the tip of the iceberg for me. Before this, I let a lot of stuff slide because it was a recent promotion and hell, he's excited. So I get it, but last night around 11 p.m, I was in bed scrolling through my phone. He comes into the bedroom, lays down and said, babe, you should go make me some ice cream. I want the chocolate drizzle on it. And oh, don't forget the cashews. Then he starts scrolling through his phone. I ignore it because I feel at this point I was going to snap. He then shook my leg and said, did you hear me? Who does this man think he is? Does he think you're literally his personal assistant? No offense, but if I were you, I'd be really petty and like contact his like business or like the people he works for and get him fired. So I responded with, yeah, I did hear you and no, go make it yourself. You were literally just out there. Your sense of effing entitlement is way out of line. Do stuff for yourself. He became offended and instantly, like effing clockwork, said, but I worked all day. So I snapped back with, yeah, I did too. In fact, I worked 12 hours to your 8. Like I said, do stuff for yourself. He is now saying he is not acting entitled and that I was taking my bad day out in him and that everything I said makes him feel unappreciated. I made an a-hole. Did I push it too far? Absolutely not. Like, he's literally starting to gaslight you. How is he literally going to turn and be like, oh, you're having a bad day, so you're taking it out in me? Who does he think he is? Yeah, fair play to him, he got a promotion. It doesn't mean he can act act like that. So yeah, you're not the a-hole. Life update, we're pregnant and having ... We are experiencing the beginning stages of revival, spending hours in the presence of the Lord, weekly evangelism, mission trips, amazing teachings, and so much more. We are in desperate need of financial support, and we are believing the Lord for $3,500. This will cover rent this month, baby appointments, and groceries. Anything you feel led to give is truly appreciated. And then they put their Cash App and Venmo. I mean, maybe if you guys didn't spend as much time praying, you might actually be able to get a part-time job. Also, $3,500 a month for rent and baby appointments. Is it really that expensive? Like, how many babies you have in 50,000? Also, I swear the church doesn't pay tax, so why don't you get the church to pay for it? Hey, I'm trying to find a babysitter at night for my daughter. She's a year old and my son is a newborn. I'm trying to pay $200 every 2 weeks. How many hours per week? I go 7 p.m. to 6 a.m, but I work 4 days a week. I'll know more when I go in tomorrow. So around 44 hours per week. Sorry, $100 for 2 kids, 1 being a baby, is not enough for that amount of hours. Yes, so you're meant to be working 44 hours a week and you're going to be getting $100. What is that, like $2 an hour? Talk about entitled, that's literally definition of getting paid peanuts. Hello all business owners. I'm making YouTube videos doing food reviews. If you own, manage a business of some kind, then please get in touch. I'm offering you a free video in return for a free meal to film at your restaurant/cafe. It's exciting. I'm getting great feedback with videos I've already done. Cheers, PM me if you want your restaurant to be filmed in. I mean, I'm gonna assume no. Like, I wonder how many views he's getting. Probably 20 views. I love how he's like, it's exciting. I'm getting great feedback. That great feedback is probably his mum or dad commented on the videos.
I don't understand today's dating world. I take girls on nice dates, I get them flowers, I'm emotionally available, I go to the gym, it doesn't matter what I do. And yet every time I get the same outcome.
Imagine having such little self-awareness that you publicly post a video saying that you keep going on dates with different women and every woman isn't interested in continuing dating you, but there must be something wrong with all of those women rather than thinking it might be you that's the issue. Genuinely, I don't think this guy has a clue of how he's coming across. And I saw a video yesterday of a woman ending a date at the end of the night, but because the man had paid for the meal, he somehow thought that that entitled him to more, so he ended up being abusive. And do you know what? All of this work that I've been doing, all of the attitudes that I'm seeing, and we're not talking about just violent men, we're talking about something that is at the core of this male attitude of the misogyny, but also the violence. And that one core attitude is entitlement. A couple of months ago on my other account that got banned, I had someone comment who I think was a man, I'm pretty sure was a man, saying we raise boys to be narcissists. And I remember at the time thinking maybe that's a bit much, but actually I'm becoming more and more convinced that that is what's going wrong in the psyche of boys and them becoming men. I attended an online discussion this week with 4 incredible men, an all-male panel talking about male violence and the causes and the root of it all. And one of those guys put it just perfectly. We teach boys from a really young age that they have dominion over women's bodies. And then when we hand them the power that men have as adults, that can then be corrupted. This week we've seen the dad who took his 9-year-old boy to Hooters for getting a good school report. What message are we teaching our young boys? That they do have ownership over women's bodies. Those women are there, dressed a certain way, for our sexual gratification, son. This is how women are treated in society. And as those boys grow up and they hand them all this power, they then corrupt that into turning it into violence if they can't get their own way because they are entitled from such a young age. And it's exactly the same backlash we see against feminism, this privilege and entitlement that they feel is being taken from them. That attitude is how it starts, and how it ends is rape, assault, harassment, stalking and murder.
I mean, that was 3 minutes and it just blew me away because all she spoke was fact. Also, with the whole Hooter situation, if you don't know, in America, there's like a shop, or it's like a restaurant that's called like Hooters. Basically, it's like where you got like girls and, you know, revealing outfits, and like a lot of the people who go there to eat are men. But I've been seeing so many videos online where like dads are taking their sons there, and it's like the sons are so happy. But then them dads are the exact same dads who talk about how, you know, drag queens shouldn't be allowed near children because it's inappropriate, you know, kids shouldn't know about LGBT, etc. It's just so interesting because it's like they don't want their kids to understand it's okay to be themselves, but they'll take their kids to a restaurant that has like women in revealing outfits. And also a lot of times I see videos on TikTok where it's talking about if, you know, you've got nice teeth, a nice hairline, a nice body, women will want you. But that's not true, because you could have everything, but like a woman still might not want you. And it's like with a lot of them videos, it kind of makes it out, it's like, oh, if you have all these things, like that guy was talking about at the beginning of the video, you know, girls are gonna want you, but in his case, like none of them did. The entitlement to believe a woman would go through awful dates just for free meals. Exactly, I've been seeing that a lot online. I've been seeing a lot of men saying women only go on dates for like free meals. I mean, I'm sure if they wanted a free meal, they could go out with their bestie. He strikes me as the type who poses and brags, talks about himself throughout the entire date, and hardly asks her any questions about herself. He also seems like the type of person where, like, you know, if you're like, oh yeah, you know, see you maybe another time, he'll be like, why aren't you coming home with me? Like, you're such a whore. I feel like he'll automatically go straight to misogyny. When I was single, I never accepted drinks in clubs from men because I knew they would want something in return. Exactly, because they see it as transactional. It's like, oh, they buy you a drink, so it means, you know, you have to satisfy them. It's so weird. Ex-guy-friend believes he's a nice guy and no one wants to date a nice guy. Spoiler alert, he isn't a nice guy and lives a double life and always blames others. Yeah, a massive red flag, girls and gays. If a guy out there is like, oh, I'm such a nice guy, you know, I just need to be given a chance, run. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. R-U-N. I'm an a-hole for calling my wife entitled and humiliating her in front of my mom. My wife, my mom, and I have a huge point of contentation when it comes to visits. We live about a 7-hour plane ride away from my mom, and there hasn't been a single visit in 5 years. My wife and my mom never had a great relationship. It wasn't too terrible, but just very different people, and they get on each other's nerves. So my wife doesn't want her to stay in the house. It makes me feel sad, but my wife feels the home needs to be a sanctuary, and no one who upsets her should be allowed to stay in her sanctuary, and I choose to support that. Our ideal visit would be my mum staying at a hotel and having designated visiting times. My mum says we can make our own rules, but we can't seriously expect her to put her time and effort into traveling to stay at a hotel. I also understand that train of thought. My wife, however, thinks my mum owes it to her kids to make the effort. My mum says my wife is selfish for expecting her to sacrifice her time, effort, and peace of mind just to be treated like a burden. I have told my wife to leave it alone. I called my mum recently to talk, and my wife came over and began making digs about how the kids don't recognize my mum and were asking if I actually have parents. My mum said my wife needed to leave the conversation or she was just gonna hang up. My wife said it's so sad that my mum won't just come and see her grandkids because she feels entitled to stay in our house. I just snapped and told my wife she needs to stop acting entitled to my mum's time, energy, and the money it would take to visit, and she is the entitled one. My mum began laughing and my wife looked devastated. I quickly hung up and tried to talk it out with my wife. She was furious and said I broke a rule of marriage by calling her out in front of my mom. I do get that, but I've given her my opinion in private so many times. Are you the a-hole? Absolutely not. By the sounds of it, your wife is absolutely cuckoo. Obviously, your mum and wife don't get along, but by the sounds of it, your wife is initiating a lot of dissension. Yet again, with a situation like that, if you look at the wife and think maybe if she wasn't there, how would it be? You know, would it be a lot smoother? Probably. Yet again, I can understand, you know, there's tensions with families and family members, but it's like, Lord Almighty, your wife seems like a cuckoo. So no, you're not the a-hole for calling your wife a child because she's an absolute weirdo.
Back again, and I want help. Been where they are, a mile long already.
We've got another Karen. Oh my god, that poor worker.
Soaking wet. No compassion, who cares, right?
Well, probably because you're yelling.
I was gonna go get yourself. And you were. That's not what I heard. Oh, thank you. I can see your face. You know what I'm saying. I said, let me do this. I will go get your stuff. So I'm not. Yeah.
Poor Walmart workers, honestly. Can this woman just trot out already?
And I think if anybody had compassion, you know I've been in a long line already.
Not compassion for people who are yelling at customer service people. We have no compassion for people who are yelling.
There's no help over there. Where do you go?
We patiently wait in line until we can be helped.
Wait when I walk back and forth in the wet rain.
Then that's on
you.
you.
Do it. Let's see you do it.
I'm not afraid of water.
Of course not.
Oh my god.
Whenever the customers are against you, you've really messed up. Yeah, again, it's like, why? Like, what is the point of making, like, a scene like that? I swear we should be able to fight one customer per shift. Exactly, like, we need to turn it into WWE. We need to get all the entitled Karens and watch them take each other out. Customer service people don't get paid enough for this. Exactly, and so it's the fact that, like, the customers are, like, supporting the customer service worker. I just don't understand it. It's like, I don't understand how they could work in a job like that. I work and travel in 23 countries. Such behaviors is only found in the US. Yeah, probably because a lot of the white women are entitled. It's always the old ones as well. It's like never the young ones. I'm telling you, it must be because they know they're going to be dead soon. It's like they go out of their way to irritate people. Well, anyways, guys, that's some entitled people. If you ever see an entitled person, please just like stand on their toe or like run over them. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a bigger, subscribe and see you all tomorrow for another video.